Last but not the least, may I invite Mr. Rajat Kaushik, Senior Market Analyst at Metalogic PMS. He leads the market analysis team for steel and raw materials at Metalogic, and with a strong experience in these sectors has contributed to policy recommendations, industry forums, and strategic insights that shape decision making and value across the value chain.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I would like to start by thanking MRAI for providing me this opportunity and sharing the stage with such a brilliant mind as well. So I'll start my PPT. We all know what is happening in major metro cities like Delhi, Mumbai. We all know the AQI has spiked to levels high. Here it is better, but we all know what is happening in Delhi or Mumbai, let's just say. So we have to do something and on time by 2050 to achieve the 1.5 degree of climate goal, what we committed in UN. So this is the steel produced using blast furnace route is the most carbon intensive, we all know. 71% of current global steel produced is by blast furnace, and while in India it is 42%. Blast furnace contribute to approximately 42% of production, while steel production using coal accounts for 70%. Green steel production technology is not yet ready on a commercial scale. Large scale carbon capture utilization required to completely decarbonize steel production using technologies. Steel production using alternate processes such as hydrogen-based DRI, iron oxide, electrolysis, etc. will help reduce emission intensity. So this graph represents that the emissions from India are the highest by far. Less emission in foreign steel production is linked to the better availability of scrap, higher grade pellets, and better price natural gas as well. Limited advancements in the blast furnace technology over the years. Therefore, operations relies largely on coal. 72% of GHG emissions in blast furnace route is scope 1 and 2, mainly contributed by fossils, while coal DRI process almost accounts for 95% of the emissions are scope 1 and 2. Scope 3 contribute to less than 5% of overall emissions. Now, this is the breakdown of emission profile of Indian steel sector. 2% intensity from heavy diesel powered quarry and mining equipment along with crushers, material processors. 19% upstream logistics, mainly fossil fuel based, involve transport of fuel, raw material and related activities. 19% intensity from material processing includes iron ore refinements and coke production from coal, with coke gas reused in the process of downstream. 44% intensity is of coal, the main fuel in the steel making. 2% intensity of steel making mainly uses electricity, partly from fossil fuels or the grid, limited to coal or gas. 2% intensity post steel making steel is used for rolled and finished into products like rods, plates, finished material basically. 7% intensity downstream emissions arise from logistic, product processing and end-of-life treatments. Now, we all want to shift to the low carbon economy, but we need to know the role of steel in that. This table I have shared here shows why steel will be of the prime importance when shifting to the low carbon economy. Every other metal, you can see M and L here represent medium or low importance level, but steel has H, which is of high importance in each of the product we will be needing to transit. Now we usually discuss that green steel will be premium in cost. Now let us talk about the advantages green steel will be providing. By shifting to the green steel, India can save roughly $8 to $10 or carbon tax. This is calculated, I have shared the formula as well. Avoided carbon tax is concluded on country's average carbon emission intensity minus target intensity. So India can save $8 to $10. Green steel transition is also not that much expensive, I would say, because this table here shows wind energy, automobile, and electrical appliances. The bar graph shared below shows that once green steel we will be using in them, how much inflation we can expect in the final product, and what was the normal cost of the product once we were using the base steel. So comparison shows wind energy for just like windmill, if we use windmill, the inflation will be around 1%, in automobile 1%, and in electrical appliances it is around 4%. Now these are the demand drivers. This is in complement to definitely industries ask of lowering the GST to 5%. The classic example, we have recently seen that Indian government lowered the GST on many products to boost the consumption. Similarly, lowering the GST to 5% will be of prime importance if we have to generate demand. So role of BIS is also important here, because taboo of recycled steel is there in the industry, which Sanjay sir also said in his session. So removing this taboo is very important. Adoption of carbon credits for difference. This is a European model where carbon credits are used as a hedging tool. The difference can be paid, so to balance the price, CCFD can be adopted. Including scope 3 in reporting, companies can unlock systematic emission reductions that go beyond their direct operations. Phase out of aged carbon intensive assets, this should be more strictly applied. Recently we saw ELV not getting that much success which was expected in Delhi. So we have to push for that policy. Green steel purchase policy, definitely ministry has prepared a framework where this is already included. Identify the markets and determine the pricing. Pilot projects at great scale can be considered to determine the actual price of the green steel, because so far everyone is estimating the premium. Somebody is saying 15 to 20, someone is saying 10 to 15. There are different numbers. Okay, so in terms of sector-wise demand, construction, infra, and auto appliances constitutes above 75% of steel demand and represent major share of private investments. We can see that private investment in these sectors are higher, excluding that infrastructure. Every sector is private. Private investors are there. So these are the sectors which can generate the demand for green steel and should be pushed. These sectors should be pushed to use maximum green steel in their operations. Now sectoral potential, if building and construction sector is pushed to use maximum green steel, scope 3 steel emissions in the sector outcome accounts for 204 metric tons of carbon dioxide. In infrastructure, large infra project accounts for bulk steel demand. Government mandate to procure certain % of green steel could be an effective way to lower the emissions. In automobile sector, scope 3 steel emissions from the sector accounts for 27 metric ton carbon dioxide. In engineering, appliances and packaging, scope 3 steel emissions from the sector accounts for 30 metric ton carbon dioxide. Now this is primary research, and we were in touch with some companies who has adopted some technologies to lower their emissions. As per Union Ministry, capacities installed till FY24 will require more than 23.5 lakh CR, along with tapping energy efficiency, revolving funds for transition to produce green steel. In India, green steel transition will involve hydrogen blending, recovery gases, renewable energy, and carbon capture utilization. Technologies like scrap plus DRI in electric arc furnace, reheating furnace are being considered in maximum cases. However, challenges have started to surface. In reheating furnace, capacities operates on low carbon fuels like natural gas and propane on limited hydrogen generation. Limited pipeline network in the country means these carbon gases need to be shipped through trucks. I mean, there is no consideration of gate in, gate out by road. So does this classify as a green steel? This is a question basically. Considering pollution made from the trucks and carbon fuel used in reheating furnace, the green steel remains a big question. This is in the reheating furnace. While we talk about DRI in electric arc furnace, scrap-based steel produced carbon, while DRI is more carbon intensive. However, domestic furnaces face shortage of scrap. We know we are producing 35 million tons of, roughly 35 million tons of scrap annually, while import of 8 to 10 million ton is being done. So mills are forced to utilize DRI in their process, which is more carbon intensive. Additionally, the scrap-based electric arc furnace requires more energy, and this energy is coming from power grids based on coal. So this is the question which needs to be addressed while considering the aspect of green steel. Thank you.